Chapter 3 Almighty Student. After a night's rest, Shiation felt extremely refreshed. It was only 6 in the morning, so he planned to go for a morning run before going to school. After changing into a set of loose sportswear, Shiation went downstairs. His cousin next door and her friend were still asleep. After the necklace's treatment, Shiation felt that his body was much lighter and stronger. In the past, it was very difficult for him to do 20 push-ups, but this morning, he did 100 in a row without any fatigue. After arriving at the park not far from his residence, Shiation started doing some simple exercises. He was surprised to find that no matter what he did, it was not as strenuous as before. Instead, he could do it with ease. At this moment, he saw an old man staring at him from afar. The old man saw Shiation's gaze and nodded with a smile. Shiation also nodded and continued to exercise. "Young man, your physical fitness is not bad. Have you been in the army before?" The old man came to Shiation's side and asked. "No, I'm only 19 years old," Shiation explained, but his hands did not stop moving. It's not easy to have such good physical fitness without being in the army. The old man nodded with appreciation. Then, he performed Tai Chi beside Shiation. The old man's movements were not fast, but it gave Shiation a very mysterious feeling. "Young man, are you interested in sparring with me?" the old man suddenly asked. "I don't think so." Shiation knew that his body had become stronger. If he really sparred with the old man, he could easily hurt the old man. "Why, are you afraid of hurting me?" The old man smiled and then kicked the stone block beside him with his right foot. The stone block moved horizontally for 5 or 6 meters before stopping. Shiation was stunned when he saw the old man's action. That stone block was at least 100 pounds, but the old man just kicked it lightly. This was definitely not something an ordinary person could do. He had heard of martial arts masters before, but as he grew older, he began to think that they were all fictional. However, the old man in front of him was definitely a martial arts master. Actually, this was also very normal. His eyes could see through things, so there was nothing that was impossible. Shiation had never competed with anyone before. He had never even fought before. Now that he finally met a legendary martial arts master, his hands were itching for a fight. "Senior, please enlighten me," Shiation said respectfully. "Good. You're neither arrogant nor rash. That's rare." The old man nodded his head approvingly. Then, he got into his stance. Shiation didn't know any martial arts, so he threw out a punch. The old man didn't even move his feet. With a push of his hands, Shiation was thrown out. Shiation didn't expect to be thrown out so easily. However, his overall fitness had improved. He somersaulted and landed on his feet. "What amazing skills," the old man praised with satisfaction. This time, Shiation didn't dare to underestimate the old man. The old man didn't even move half a step, but he easily resolved his punch. This time, Shiation feinted and then attacked the old man's lower body. Shiation's movements didn't escape the old man's eyes. He kicked with his right foot and resolved Shiation's leg sweep. At the same time, his right hand grabbed Shiation's arm and jumped. Then, he threw Shiation's body directly behind him. Amazing. Shiation's right hand supported himself on the ground. After a somersault, he landed on the ground. It seems that he has no weakness. No matter where I attack, he can perfectly resolve it. At this moment, Shiation's X-ray vision suddenly opened automatically. Countless trajectories appeared in his mind. These trajectories seemed to be the old man's attack trajectories. Seeing these trajectories, Shiation's face suddenly lit up. He threw out a punch and the old man hurriedly retreated. Shiation's punch seemed to have found his blind spot. Several attack trajectories appeared in Shiation's mind. If the old man's Tai Chi didn't move, there were very few flaws. It was almost impossible to detect. However, when he moved, the flaws naturally increased. Shiation seized the opportunity and attacked the old man directly. The series of attacks immediately made the old man flustered. The old man felt like he was constantly in danger. "Stop, stop." The old man hurriedly waved his hand. Shiation also withdrew his fist. Shiation felt comfortable all over. It was really satisfying to fight with the old man just now. Although he didn't know any martial arts, his X-ray vision helped him to find the old man's weakness. He found the weakness of the old man's seemingly unbreakable defense. At this time, the old man was even more shocked. He knew his Tai Chi very well. Although he wasn't a martial arts master, ordinary people couldn't get close to him at all. Even if 3 or 4 veterans attacked him together, he could handle them with ease. He could tell that the young man in front of him didn't know any martial arts, but he could break his Tai Chi. "Little brother, what's your name?" asked the old man. "My name is Shiation said. "Shiation. Very good. You can call me Old Fan. I wonder how you broke my Tai Chi just now." Old Fan was very curious. In the beginning, Shiation was like an ordinary person. He couldn't do anything to him at all. However, later on, he could attack his weakness with every move. "I was just lucky. If I were to compete with you again, I definitely wouldn't be able to take one move." Of course, Shiation wouldn't say that he saw the old man's weakness with his X-ray vision. There are talents in every generation. You have a good character and know how to respect your elders. However, I know my own ability. Young man, if you have the chance, come to Green Forest Villa for a walk. When the time comes, just say that you are looking for Old Fan. Old Fan smiled and nodded with satisfaction. "Thank you, Old Fan. I still have something to do, so I'll take my leave first." After Shiation left the park, he had breakfast at a nearby breakfast shop and bought 2 breakfasts for his cousin. When he returned to his residence, it was just as he had expected. The 2 of them hadn't woken up yet. Thus, Shiation put the breakfast in the living room, changed his clothes and rushed to school. Shiation's school was Shanghai High School, the best high school in Shanghai City. Shiation had relied on his own ability to get in. Moreover, his academic results had always been in the top 10 of his grade. The college entrance examination was coming soon. However, he hadn't come to school for half a month, so he had to report to the class teacher. Shiation was a good student. After he briefly explained the matter to the class teacher didn't make things difficult for him and let him continue with his class. There were still 12 days before the college entrance examination. Recently, the teachers didn't care much about the students. Generally, they let the students study by themselves or do mock exams. After arriving at the class, Shiation saw a woman. She was the class's study committee member and also his ex-girlfriend, Wen Ya. Shiation had never figured out why Wen Ya would be together with Xu Shaokong, that second-generation young master. However, all of this was in the past. Wen Ya had already broken up with him. Wen Ya also noticed Shiation. Ever since Wen Ya broke up with Shiation, Shiation had disappeared. Wen Ya thought that something had happened to Shiation. At that time, she felt very guilty. Now that she saw that Shiation was fine, she was relieved. She was a child born in a poor family. After meeting Shiation, she originally thought that if she worked hard with Shiation, then their lives would definitely be better in the future. However, later on, she met Xu Shaokong. From then on, she knew the use of money. Moreover, even if the 2 of them worked hard for a lifetime, they couldn't compare to Xu Shaokong's squandering in a year. She hadn't enjoyed such a luxurious life before, but now she enjoyed it. Studying well, finding a good job, and working hard were all useless. Xu Shaokong could casually arrange a job for her and she could earn 10 to 20,000 yuan a month. Moreover, once she married Xu Shaokong, then she could live a good life for the rest of her life. Her parents wouldn't have to work so hard. Even her brother could get a wife. For all of this, she chose to leave Shiation. Although Shiation was very good to her and Shiation worked hard, Shiation couldn't give her what she wanted. Shiation stopped thinking about Wen Ya. He knew that the 2 of them had embarked on different paths. "Wen Ya, look at what I brought for you. French breakfast." A person walked into the class. It was Xu Shaokong. Xu Shaokong held a rich breakfast in his hand and placed it on the table. At this moment, he also saw Shiation. He naturally knew that Shiation was Wen Ya's ex-boyfriend. "Io, isn't this Shiation? I thought you were trapped by love and committed suicide." Quote. "Shaokong, stop talking," Wen Ya whispered. "HMPH, what's the use of studying well if you can't even keep your girlfriend?" Xu Shaokong glanced at Shiation disdainfully and said, "Okay, Shaokong, let's eat. Stop talking." Although Wen Ya broke up with Shiation, she didn't want Shiation to offend Xu Shaokong because of her. "Io, Xu Shaokong, You actually dare to be presumptuous in my class. You are really tired of living. A delinquent girl stood at the entrance of the class. The delinquent girl was dressed very strangely. She gave off a feeling of being a gangster. This girl was called Flaming Chili. Shiation really didn't understand. Was there a Flaming Chili in the 100 surnames? However, he usually didn't dare to provoke this Flaming Chili. Not to mention him, even the whole school didn't dare to offend her. It was said that her family background was very complicated. It seemed that they were part of the underworld. In the past, there were a few ignorant people who offended her. In the end, they all disappeared from the school. Flaming Chili, you and I will mind our own business. I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. How could Xu Xiaokong lose face in front of Wen Ya? Although he usually didn't dare to provoke Flaming Chili, he didn't show any weakness at this moment. I will meddle in other people's business. What can you do? Two hot girls appeared behind Flaming Chili. The three of them directly walked to Shiation's side. At this moment, Flaming Chili's aura was extraordinary. She was like a legendary big sister.